have transformed the way I taught. At the time, I was managing a social entrepreneurship program with multiple courses. I was teaching multiple courses, and I I started doing trainings in inclusive curriculum and pedagogy. And I hired some consultants to help review sort of course materials. And I personally went through every piece of content in every course I taught, every video, every reading, every guest speaker, looking at representation and diversity. And what I found was there was a lot of white men. And I thought, okay, can I look at this piece of content or this concept and find somebody, a writer, a speaker, who's not just another white man to do it? What I found is that I ended up with better content because I wasn't, for lack of a better word, being lazy about it anymore. But I was thinking deeply about what I was offering my students and how I was engaging with them. And I think I started listening better to my students. I started including an anonymous survey halfway through each course, asking about whether or not they had seen their identities, any aspect of identities represented somewhere in the course and in some way. And then I asked them about sort of what content they would suggest. Who would they like to see as speakers? And whether they felt included and safe in the discussions in the class. And I would come back and I would take these responses, and then I would in front of the class say, this is what I'm going to change based on your feedback, and thank them for it and appreciate them for it. I also opened up a little bit about my past and my history. I personally grew up in poverty, and I began sharing that with my students and showing a little bit more vulnerability, I think, in my classes. And I felt happier teaching. I felt like I could bring more of myself to the table and engage more authentically with my students. I felt like we were building better connections. My students seemed happier, and you know what? They began doing better academically. When they felt welcomed, when they saw themselves represented, when they had mentors and speakers who shared some aspect of their identity, they began to thrive academically in class. And so I saw how that emotional space is linked to academic success as well, in a way that I honestly wasn't expecting, but should not have been surprised to see.